violet tides. The sea mist clung to the cove like a veil, hiding secrets beneath its swirling tendrils. Dr. Chen adjusted his monitoring equipment with practiced precision, his weathered hands moving with deliberate care. The early morning light barely penetrated the fog, creating a dreamlike quality that made the shoreline feel disconnected from the rest of the world. Anything unusual in the readings? Sarah called from the small research tent they had established at the edge of the beach, her voice carried across the damp air, tinged with excitement and the weariness of a night spent watching tidal patterns. Dr. Chen shook his head. Nothing yet, but these anomalies don't follow predictable patterns. According to the satellite data, we should see something within the next hour. The two scientists had been tracking unusual electromagnetic disturbances along this particular stretch of coastline for months. Disturbances that defied conventional explanation and seemed to coincide with rare, tidal conditions that occurred only once every few decades. Sarah approached carrying 2 steaming mugs. "At least the coffee's predictable," she said with a gentle smile, "though I can't promise it's good." As Dr. Chen reached for the offered mug, a sudden spike on his equipment made him pause. The needle jumped violently before the entire system shut down with a soft whine. "That's impossible," he muttered, hurrying back to the instruments. "Complete power failure, but the backup should have—" His words died in his throat as the mist before them began to glow with a pulsing violet light. A circle of luminescence formed over the water's surface, expanding outward, like ripples from a dropped stone. The air seemed to thin, becoming charged with an energy that made the hair on their arms stand on end. "Are you recording this?" Dr. Chen whispered. Not daring to blink, Sarah fumbled for her camera. "I'm trying, but nothing's working. It's like all electronics are dead." The glowing circle intensified, then seemed to tear open like fabric being ripped apart. In an instant, a figure was propelled through the opening landing with a splash in the shallow water. The portal, or whatever it was, collapsed behind them with a sound like thunder, but oddly muffled as though heard underwater. "My God," Sarah gasped. "Did you see that?" They stood frozen, watching as the figure struggled to stand in the knee-deep water. It was clearly feminine in form, but even through the mist they could see her skin had an unmistakable purple hue that shifted and shimmered in the morning light. Her movements were desperate, almost panicked. "She can't breathe," Dr. Chen suddenly realized, dropping his useless equipment and rushing into the surf. The woman's eyes were wide with terror, her hands clutching at her throat. Her skin was covered in intricate markings that pulsed with faint light. As Dr. Chen reached her, she collapsed against him, her body surprisingly light yet solid. His scientific mind noted the unusual texture of her skin, smooth like polished stone yet warm and yielding. As he carried her to shore, her eyes locked with his. They were a deep violet with no distinguishable pupil, just swirling galaxies of darker purple that seemed to hold ancient wisdom and terrible fear. "Sarah, prepare the oxygen tank in the tent," he called, struggling to maintain his professional demeanor, despite the extraordinary situation unfolding. The purple-skinned woman tried to speak, but only produced a series of melodic clicks and whistles. She gestured frantically toward the water where the portal had been, her expression becoming increasingly desperate. "I don't understand," Dr. Chen said, gently, laying her on the cot in their research tent. "But we're going to help you." Sarah attached the oxygen mask while Dr. Chen checked vital signs, finding a heartbeat that pulsed in an unusual rhythm, faster than human normal, yet strangely regular. The woman's panic seemed to subside slightly with the oxygen, though. Her eyes remained fixed on Dr. Chen with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. "What is she?" Sarah whispered, examining the markings that covered the woman's arms, and what was visible of her shoulders beneath strange garments that seemed to shift between solid and liquid states. "Not what?" Dr. Chen corrected. "Who and I have no idea, but she came through what appeared to be some kind of interdimensional portal." The woman suddenly grasped Dr. Chen's wrist, her touch sending an electric tingle. Up his arm, she made a series of gestures toward her throat, then to the water, then traced a circle in the air. "I think she's trying to communicate that she needs to go back." Sarah suggested. The portal's gone, Dr. Chen said softly, meeting the woman's gaze. I'm sorry. Understanding seemed to dawn in those alien eyes, a profound sadness that transcended language or species. Her grip on his wrist loosened and a sound like distant wind chimes emerged from her throat. Aya, she said, tapping her chest, the first recognizable sound she'd made. Aya. Your name is Aya, Dr. Chen said, pointing to her, then to himself. I'm Chen, Dr. Chen. She nodded slowly, then pointed to Sarah with a questioning tilt of her head. Sarah, Dr. Chen explained. We're going to help you, Aya, but we need to move you somewhere safer before someone else saw what we just witnessed. As if summoned by his words, the sound of an approaching vehicle reached them through the mist. Sarah peered out of the tent. It's Cooper, she hissed. Government liaison, Dr. Chen's expression hardened. Help me get her to the truck, we're taking her to the facility. Strange currents. The research facility hummed with quiet energy as Dr. Chen guided Aya through the back entrance, Sarah following closely behind, with a large coat draped over the purple-skinned visitor. The security cameras had been temporarily looped, a trick Dr. Chen had learned from Kai during their rebellious youth. We have maybe 20 minutes before someone notices, Sarah whispered, checking her watch nervously. Are you sure this is wise? Dr. Chen's expression remained resolute. What? Would you suggest leave her for Cooper and his team to dissect? Sarah flinched at his uncharacteristic sharpness. Of course not. I just mean this could cost us everything, our careers, our freedom. Some discoveries transcend professional consequences, Dr. Chen replied softly, his eyes drifting to Aya, who was studying the facility with obvious intelligence, her violet eyes taking in every detail with remarkable focus. They reached Dr. Chen's private laboratory, tucking Aya into the environmental chamber normally used for marine specimen adaptation. The glass enclosure would shield her unusual appearance from casual observation, while allowing them to adjust atmospheric conditions. Her breathing has stabilized, Dr. Chen noted, checking the monitors, but her cellular structure is unlike anything I've ever seen. The closest analog would be certain deep-sea organisms that use bioluminescence. Aya placed her palm against the glass, her markings pulsing gently as Dr. Chen approached. She traced symbols in the condensation symbols that seemed strangely familiar to him. Those patterns, he murmured. Sarah, bring me the images from the Marianas expedition, the cave hieroglyphs. Sarah's eyes widened. You can't be serious. Just humor me. When Sarah returned with the tablet, Aya's reaction was immediate. She pointed excitedly at the ancient symbols photographed from underwater caves nearly 7 miles beneath the ocean's surface. Symbols that had baffled archaeologists for decades. Impossible. Sarah breathed. Those markings are estimated to be over 5,000 years old. Aya began tracing new symbols beside the images, her movements precise and deliberate. Dr. Chen recorded each one, watching as she created a complex sequence. It's a language, he realized. Or perhaps a mathematical formula she's trying to teach us. Hours passed in a blur of discovery. Aya proved to be a quick study, absorbing English words at an astonishing rate. While her pronunciation remained strange, her comprehension grew exponentially. By evening, she could form basic sentences. My world dying. She explained, her voice like water flowing over stones, musical and fluid. I sent find help, portal closing soon, permanent. Another dimension, Dr. Chen mused. Not another planet that would explain the unusual electromagnetic readings. Need return, Aya insisted. Bring knowledge, save both. Dr. Chen was about to respond when the laboratory door slid open with a soft hiss. Cooper stood in the doorway, his lean frame impeccably dressed in a government-issue suit. His eyes, cold and calculating, registered no surprise at the sight of Aya. Interesting specimen, Chen, he said, stepping inside uninvited. Purple is an unusual skin condition. Sarah moved, subtly, to block Aya from view. This area is restricted, Cooper. You need clearance. Cooper smiled thinly. Funny thing about clearance, I seem to have it for every room in this facility, including this one. He held up a security badge. Especially when unusual energy signatures are detected by our satellites, signatures remarkably similar to those your team has been investigating. Dr. Chen straightened his shoulders. She's a visiting researcher. Rare genetic condition. We're developing treatments. Is that so? Cooper's gaze slid past them to where Aya watched with unblinking violet eyes. Then you won't mind if I interview this researcher about her condition, her credentials, her planet of origin perhaps. The silence that followed confirmed his suspicions. I'll be back tomorrow with a specialized team, Cooper said, turning to leave. I suggest you don't attempt to relocate your guest, Dr. Chen. The entire facility is now under surveillance. After Cooper departed, Sarah collapsed into a chair. We're doomed. Not yet, Dr. Chen replied, already accessing his secure terminal. I'm calling Kai. Your brother. Sarah's voice rose in disbelief. The same brother you haven't spoken to in 5 years, the one who lives like a paranoid hermit, the same brother who knows how to disappear. Dr. Chen confirmed, punching in a sequence of numbers, and right now disappearing is exactly what we need to do. While Dr. Chen made arrangements, Aya approached Sarah, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. The touch sent a pleasant warmth cascading through Sarah's body, calming her immediately. Not fear. Aya said, her eyes swirling with deeper violets. I protect friends. How? Sarah asked. Cooper has resources, government backing. Aya smiled, for the first time revealing teeth that seemed to shimmer like opals in the laboratory light. I not only one who came through, she said cryptically, her markings pulsing with increased luminosity. Others waiting, my technology already here. Dr. Chen returned, his expression grim. Kai will meet us at the North Service exit in 30 minutes. We need to move quickly. As they prepared to leave, Sarah noticed Aya tracing her finger along the laboratory wall, leaving a faint purple residue that faded almost. Immediately, what are you doing? Sarah whispered. Aya's eyes held ancient wisdom. Leaving message for others like me. They follow signal. Help when time. Dr. Chen gently guided Aya toward the exit. Whatever you're doing, make it quick. Cooper wasn't bluffing about surveillance. They slipped through the darkened corridors of the facility, Aya moving with unexpected grace despite her unfamiliarity with the environment. At the service exit, Dr. Chen disabled the alarm system using his override. Codes. This will be the first place they look. Sarah worried. They'll track your access. Not if someone else's credentials were used. Dr. Chen replied with a hint of satisfaction. I borrowed the login from our friend Cooper. While he's busy investigating, himself will be long gone. A battered truck idled in the shadows, its driver hidden behind tinted windows. As they approached the passenger window, lowered, revealing a face strikingly similar to Dr. Chen's but harder, more weathered. Kai's eyes widened, slightly at the sight of Aya, but he made no comment. You always did bring home strange strays, brother, he said, his voice rough from disuse. But this one takes the prize. Dr. Chen helped Aya into the truck. Just drive Kai questions later. As they pulled away from the facility, Aya looked back, her expression unreadable. In the distance, lights began to flash as alarms finally triggered. They found my message, she said softly. What did it say? Dr. Chen asked. Aya's eyes met his in the darkness of the truck, her gaze intense. It say help coming, but also warn hunters follow. Not just your Cooper, others from my world who want portal technology for themselves. The implications hung heavy in the air as Kai accelerated the truck toward the Yao mountains, leaving the coastline and its secrets behind, at least for now. Depths of trust. Kai's refuge clung to the mountainside like a natural extension of the rocky terrain. The solar panels and wind turbines blended seamlessly with the landscape, making the entire compound nearly invisible from below. Dr. Chen couldn't help but admire his brother's ingenuity, despite the circumstances that had driven them apart. Home sweet paranoid home, Kai announced as he killed the engine, off-grid, self-sustaining, and completely shielded from electromagnetic surveillance. He glanced at Aya, his expression guarded. which seems particularly relevant given our purple guest. Aya stepped from the vehicle, her gaze sweeping across the compound with evident curiosity. The morning light caught her skin, creating iridescent patterns that shifted with her movements. Dr. Chen found himself captivated by the play of light across her features, a response that went beyond scientific interest. "Your brother not trust me," Aya observed quietly as they followed Kai toward the main structure. "Kai doesn't trust anyone," Dr. Chen replied. "It's not personal." Sarah hurried to catch up. "He has good reason after what the government did to his research." Inside the compound was surprisingly comfortable. Warm wood contrasted with steel and glass, creating a space that felt both secure and welcoming. A complex array of monitors displayed various security feeds, while a separate bank of screens showed environmental data from around the mountain. Kai gestured toward a spare room. "Your friend can stay there. I've stocked emergency supplies in all rooms, water purification tablets, food, medical kits, prepared for the apocalypse as usual," Dr. Chen commented. Kai's expression hardened. "Mock all you want, but who's hiding from the government now?" He turned his attention to Aya, who was examining his water filtration system with obvious interest. "What exactly is she?" "I-person," Aya answered before Dr. Chen could respond. Her voice carried a hint of indignation. "Different world, not different worth." Kai raised an eyebrow. "Fair enough. What I meant was what brings a being from another dimension to our particular backwater planet." Aya's markings dimmed slightly, a reaction Dr. Chen had come to associate with sadness. "My world-dying energy core destabilized portals created to find compatible worlds for knowledge exchange, technology sharing. I selected as emissary because my body adapts." She approached the water filtration system, running her fingers along the pipes with knowing precision. "This system inefficient, I fix." Before Kai could protest, Aya had reconfigured several components, her hands moving with blurring speed. Within minutes, the system's quiet hum changed pitch, becoming smoother, more harmonious. The display showed a 40% increase in efficiency. Kai stared in disbelief. "That's impossible. I spent years perfecting that system." Aya smiled. "Different knowledge, not better knowledge. Your design clever, but missing principles from my world." Something in Kai's demeanor shifted, the wariness in his eyes replaced by reluctant respect. "Maybe you're worth the trouble after all." As days passed in the mountain hideaway, Aya's command of English improved dramatically. She explained that her species possessed neural pathways specifically designed for rapid language acquisition, an evolutionary adaptation necessary for their role as dimensional travelers. Dr. Chen documented everything, creating extensive notes on Aya's physiology, abilities, and the fragments of knowledge she shared about her world. During the evenings, they gathered around Kai's fireplace, Aya sharing stories of her dimension while the humans offered their own histories. The cultural exchange created an unexpected intimacy between them, particularly between Dr. Chen and Aya, who often worked side by side late into the night, combining their scientific knowledge. "Your world beautiful but wounded," Aya observed one evening as they stood on the observation deck, staring at the star-filled sky. "Like mine, different causes, same outcome." "We haven't been good stewards," Dr. Chen admitted, greed, short-term thinking. Aya turned to him, her violet eyes reflecting starlight. "My people made similar mistakes long ago. Now we try to correct, but time runs short." She hesitated, then placed her hand over his. "Your touch different from others. More connection I feel." The contact sent a pleasant warmth spreading through Dr. Chen's body. Her skin against his created a subtle resonance, as though some fundamental frequency between them had aligned. His scientific mind raced to explain the phenomenon, but another part of him simply wanted to experience it. "I feel it too," he admitted, his voice low. "Is this normal? For your kind?" "No," she replied, stepping closer. "This connection rare even among my people, special." Their moment was interrupted by Sarah bursting onto the deck, her expression anxious. Kai's picked up drone activity in the valley, someone searching the area. In the control room, Kai manipulated the surveillance feeds, revealing small reconnaissance drones methodically scanning the terrain. Military grade. He muttered, Cooper isn't messing around. They tracked us somehow. Sarah worried Aya's markings pulsed with agitation. Not tracked, you tracked me. My energy signature different from your world creates disturbance in electromagnetic field. Can you suppress it? Dr. Chen asked. For short time, yes. But hiding not solution. Aya's expression became determined. Must complete mission, must establish permanent connection between worlds before portal window closes forever. 3 days remain. The gravity of her statement hung in the air. As they discussed options, a separate alert sounded. On Kai's system, another anomaly, he reported, checking the readings. Similar to Aya's signature, but different, more mechanical, coming from the valley floor. The exterior cameras revealed a solitary figure approaching the hidden path to the compound. A woman with close-cropped silver hair carrying advanced equipment. Her movements were purposeful, confident. Aya moved to the monitor, her markings brightening with recognition. Technology not from your world, she carries bridge device. I know her, Dr. Chen said in disbelief. That's Isabel, my former research partner, but how? More importantly, why? Kai countered, already reaching for a weapon. And is she alone? The cameras showed no one else, but the drones had changed course, now moving away. From the mountain, she's redirected Cooper's search. Sarah realized, but why would she help us? Dr. Chen's expression grew troubled. Isabel developed Aria, the most advanced artificial intelligence in the private sector. She left our team when the military wanted to weaponize it. You trust her? Kai asked, his finger still on the trigger. Dr. Chen hesitated, meeting Aya's gaze, finding something there that helped him decide. I don't know, but right now, we need all the help we can get. As Isabel approached the hidden entrance, Aya placed her hand on Dr. Chen's arm. Her touch conveyed both warning and comfort. Choose carefully, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Some bridges once built cannot be removed. The double meaning wasn't lost on him. As Kai went to intercept Isabel, Dr. Chen found himself standing at his own threshold, between worlds, between identities, between the scientist he had always been and something entirely new. The connection he felt with Aya transcended research or even fascination. It had become something deeper, more fundamental. A recognition of kindred spirits despite their different origins. Whatever happens, he told Aya, I won't let them take you. Her eyes swirled with deeper violets emotion, clear despite their alien nature. And I will not leave without ensuring your world's safety. Our fates now connected like stars in shared orbit. The metaphor lingered between them as they prepared to face whatever Isabel's arrival might bring. The weight of 3 worlds hung in the balance, Aya's dying dimension, Earth's uncertain future, and the fragile new world that had begun to form between them. Rising waters. Isabel stood in Kai's living room, her silver hair gleaming under the lights. The device in her hands pulsed with an energy signature that made Aya's markings respond in kind. Aria detected her presence 3 days ago. Isabel explained, her voice clinical yet tinged with wonder. The energy signature was unlike anything we'd ever seen. Dr. Chen studied his former colleague warily. And you came alone. No military. No Cooper. Cooper wants to weaponize her, Isabel replied, glancing at Aya with undisguised fascination. I want to understand her, there's a difference. Aya approached the device in Isabel's hands. Bridge technology, primitive but functional. You reverse-engineered from fragments. Isabel's eyes widened. How did you know? Because my people left fragments, Aya said. Tests before full contact to see how your kind would use knowledge. Kai scoffed. And we immediately tried to turn it into a weapon. Typical. Not weapon. Aya corrected, portal stabilizer. Could help anchor permanent connection between worlds. Dr. Chen moved closer to Aya, unconsciously protective. Why would you help us, Isabel? Because the world is dying, Chen, she replied, her composure cracking. Aria's projections give us less then a century before environmental collapse becomes irreversible. Your visitor might be our only hope for survival. A sudden alarm blared from Kai's security system. Multiple vehicles approaching, he announced, checking the monitors. Military. Transport Coopers here. Isabel's expression hardened. They must have tracked my equipment. I thought I'd masked the signature. No time for blame, Dr. Chen decided. Isabel, does your transport have room for all of us? She nodded. Hidden half-mile, east electric engine nearly silent. As they gathered essentials, Aya pulled Dr. Chen aside, her eyes intense. Time grows short, portal energy fading. Must reach original entry point, soon. The cove, he realized. We need to go back where you came through. They slipped out through Kai's emergency tunnel as Cooper's team surrounded the compound. The forest provided cover as they made their way to Isabel's vehicle. Aria's computerized voice guiding them through the safest path. I calculate an 83% probability of interception at the main road, Aria announced, suggesting alternative route. As they drove toward the coast, Dr. Chen found Aya's hand seeking his. Her touch sent that now familiar warmth through him. In the dim light, her eyes found his conveying emotions that transcended language. If portal opens, she whispered, I must return. My world needs knowledge I've gathered. The unspoken question hung between them. Would he go with her? Could he? What would it mean to leave everything behind for an alien world and an alien woman he'd known only days yet felt connected to as though they'd shared lifetimes? I don't want to lose you. He admitted the words emerging before he could analyze them. Her markings pulsed with emotion. Some connections transcend dimensions not easily broken. Behind them, Cooper's convoy gained ground. Isabel pushed the vehicle to its limits, while Aria calculated escape probabilities that grew increasingly dire. We need a distraction, Kai decided. I'll draw them off, Sarah protested. That's suicide. Not if I use the terrain, Kai replied with grim determination. I know these mountains. They don't. Before they could argue further, a blinding light flashed across the sky. A shockwave of energy that disabled electronics for miles. The pursuing vehicles stalled while Aria's systems briefly flickered. Portal energy, Aya explained, her markings glowing brilliantly. Commander Rena attempting contact. Between two shores, the cove shimmered, with unearthly light as they arrived, the water's surface rippling with energy pulses that defied physics. Dr. Chen helped Aya from the vehicle, her skin now luminous with responding energy. Commander opening temporary bridge. She explained, her voice strained. Requires my presence to stabilize, must decide now. Isabel's equipment detected the massive energy spike. It's beautiful, she whispered. Aria recording everything. A stable dimensional gateway. Cooper will be here any minute. Sarah warned, watching the road. The portal began to form above the water's surface, a swirling vortex of violet and blue energy. Aya stepped toward it, her body responding, becoming more luminous with each step. When she reached the shoreline, a figure began to materialize on the other side. Commander Rena, tall, regal, with markings more elaborate than Aya's, portal unstable. Commander Rena's voice echoed strangely. Aya must return now to survive. Knowledge transfer initiated. Dr. Chen felt his heart constricting. You're leaving. Aya turned to him, her eyes filled with emotion. Cannot survive in your atmosphere much longer. Body failing. He hadn't noticed the subtle signs. Her breathing growing more labored, her movements less fluid. The earth was slowly killing her. Go, he said, fighting against his own desires. Your world needs you. Aya reached for him one last time, her touch sending images directly into his mind. Visions of her world. Memories. Knowledge. The connection between them flaring with unprecedented intensity. Come with me, she whispered. You belong with me, felt from first moment. Behind them, vehicles approached, lights cutting through the mist. Cooper's team had arrived, Isabel and Sarah moved to delay them, while Kai provided covering fire. The portal flickered, becoming unstable. Commander Rena's voice boomed across dimensions. Decision now. Portal closing permanent. Dr. Chen looked back at Earth, his home, his life, his certainties, then to Aya and the unknown world beyond the portal. A place where he would be the alien, the outsider. In that moment, the choice crystallized with perfect clarity. Some connections happened only once in a lifetime, even if that connection spanned worlds. I'm coming. With you, he decided, stepping into the shallows. Aya's joy manifested as pulses of light across her skin. As the portal began to close around them, Dr. Chen took one last look at his world. Sarah's tearful smile, Kai's solemn nod, Isabel's fascinated gaze. Then he stepped through the threshold between worlds, the scientist becoming explorer, the human becoming emissary, the man following his heart across the boundaries of reality itself. As the portal sealed behind them, Cooper arrived too late, witnessing only the final flicker of violet light dissolving into ordinary mist. The only evidence of what transpired, a single purple scale-like object resting on the shore. A promise perhaps that someday the connection between worlds might open again.